Boy, bruh. All right. So we're gonna start with, just some chill questions. So you started out writing. Was it a hobby at first?
No, it was kind of an accident.
An
Okay,
accident. I know
yeah,
Ernest told me the story, but I want to hear it from your mouth.
okay. So there was an idea for me for a murder book. So a serial killer book. So and he had this idea for the detective, and so we kind of just smashed them together. We were talking about. I told him about my idea. He told me about his. We kind of meshed them together and came up with Police King. Well, years before that, I had wrote He Keeps Running Back. I wrote that when my son's 24. I wrote that when my son has to be about 4 or 5 years old.
Mm.
And so it just sat there, and it sat there, and it sat there. And I had let a handful of people read it, and one of my coworkers had asked me not too long ago. She was like, "Hey, did you ever finish that book? That book was good." And I was like, "No, I didn't do anything with it." And so I gave it to him to finish. I said, "Hey, I got this book. It's mostly done. Just put your finishing touches with it." I said, "I trust you." So he did what he did, and we came up with He Keeps Running Back. So
And y'all bogus as fuck for not finishing and getting the second book out. Y'all,
well, trust me, I've been working on it here and there, but all this other stuff. When we joined Tina J, she wanted us to do a solo book,
mm-hmm.
and so that's when the Billionaire Bishop came into play. And so I was like, hey, you hear these stories about these pastors and all this mess. So I
You
came.
wait, Mikah. You put the pastor on overdrive. Okay, that man had digged down everybody from the crime scene person.
Uh,
Jesus,
yeah, yeah.
messy as fuck. Okay, so your earlier work was a collaboration with Ernest Lee. If y'all don't know, he collaborates with Ernest Lee. Take us back to that partnership. What did you learn about storytelling, discipline, and voice from working closely with another author?
Well, I mean, from the beginning, I never knew what it was not to work with somebody. So
Mm.
working by myself was foreign to me. So working with him was second nature because we've always done this. We've been friends for since we was 5 or 6 years old. So
Mm.
it was like his focus. He's more technical, and he puts all the analytics and the crime scene and all of that
Mm.
into it. Here I come with I throw some romance at you, I throw some mess at you, and the love triangles, and it kind of goes together.
Well,
So.
I must say that it must have rubbed off on him because Prison Chronicles is not. Um. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think being apart, I knew I had to do something um, to pull where I was weak at, and vice versa. So he wasn't strong in the sex and the romance thing. So that had to be pulled out of him. And me, I had the murder mystery thing, and I
Mm.
had to pull that out of me and find that within me. So it helped us become better writers.
Okay. So now, as a solo author, you come, I can say, into your own of bullshit. What's the biggest shift in creative control, pacing, even pressure that comes from writing alone versus co-authoring?
Uh, Writing by myself, I second guess myself a lot.
Mm.
I absolutely second guess myself the whole. When I was writing the Billionaire Bishop, the first one, I second guessed myself the entire time. I was like, "Is people gonna like this?" I was like, I don't know if nobody's gonna like this. I was literally sweating. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna put this book out. You know, I was second guessing. Even the second one, I was like, is it as good as the first? I was like, am I doing enough? So there was a lot of second guessing for me when writing both of those books. So yeah.
Look, you the first one was messy. The second one was messier. Your endings for the first and second one just got worse as it went along. It was like, my God, how much shit can happen to this situation? But you write it in a way that it's not overdone. It's
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck else finna happen? Do you know how many times I was like, and he fucked him too? And he fucked her too. My God, that's me the whole book. And I think it was one part when I was reading about the crime scene thing, and I said, I know good and goddamn well a crime just happened, and this motherfucker's trying to get laid. I just know.
Yeah. 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 I mean, the part even I shocked myself when I was writing the scene when he's being interviewed with the dude from CNN, and he had just murdered Delight, and he had dude question his sexuality.
He had everyone questioning their sexuality. I was like, what in the hell? What type of magic penis? I was just telling them like, this man is done wrote a new way of talking through it. I ain't never had nobody talk me through it with no damn Bible verses. What the fuck?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That
So,
shit is wild. Okay. Do you find more freedom or more responsibility when it's just your name on the cover?
I think I find more freedom because a
Mm.
lot of times when me and him write together, we have to structure it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be like, hey, you do this part, I do this part. When I when I write by myself, I can just sit down. And I don't even have an idea, and sometimes I just start writing, and it just start coming, and the bishop start talking, and he get to talking,
I
and I
don't
get to writing. So
I don't know how you can have that man in your head.
I mean, like the video I posted today, you see it all the time. You see these pastors and these stories, and it's just all the time, and it's something new almost every day with these pastors.
That is wild. Okay. You signed under Tina J.
Uh-huh.
And what drew you to her as a mentor or publisher? And how has being signed changed how you operate as an author day to day?
Well, I reached out to Tina. Tina was one of the first people I reached out to when we first started, and she liked it. And another company got back with me. Another publishing company got back with me, and we actually signed with a different publishing company first.
Mm.
So that company folded, and so before after it folded, but before and I had already told her we had signed with somebody else. So that's when we went ahead and self-published, and so we didn't have an audience. We didn't know what we were doing.
Mm.
So I said, "Hey, let me reach out to some publishers again." So I reached out to her again, and she remembered Police King, and she
Mm.
was like, "Okay, yeah, we can do it," And so that's where it started. And then she told us, "Hey, before y'all do a book together, I want y'all to do something apart, separate, a
Mm.
solo book." So
That's smart though. That's smart.
yeah,
It's a good great way for both of y'all to find y'all voices in outside of the collaboration.
because I didn't understand at first. I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to write a book by myself," and it helped develop me. It helped me become a better author, a better writer, and be more comfortable in myself.
Yeah, you are. I swear you're gonna be called. I'm calling you messy, 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 bruh. You so messy in your books, and you welcome Tina J. What kind of support or insight do you receive now that you didn't have access to as a solo indie author?
Um, I think, especially having her backing, I got a lot of exposure that I didn't have, and
Mm,
then I become more comfortable with and I've embraced being an author. I
mm,
was kind of treading. I think we both kind of treading water. We had a hard time because we were trying to do everything ourselves, right?
Mm,
Editing, finding book shows and doing the book covers. We were doing everything.
mm,
So, so it took up so much time, you know.
mm.
So now we can focus more on writing, which helps a
Yeah.
lot. So,
Yeah, and and reading both of your books, because Prison Chronicles is different from the Bishop's book, but at the same time you could see the similarities.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can see how y'all both complement each other.
Hmm.
And I still say running back, I need book two.
Okay, absolutely.
That
You're not the only one. You're not the
that
only
is a good book. That is a good book. Um, your romance suspense novels are messy as fuck,
one.
sharp turns, and heat. And why did I say heat instead of saying a lot of fucking? So how do you keep readers surprised without sacrificing the character development or emotional depth?
um, I, a lot of people, and I noticed this, and that's why I prefer writing the novellas. Is a lot
Mm.
of people write and they just write for word count. And
Mm.
you can tell when somebody's writing for word count, they're just trying to reach their word count.
Yeah, the
That's
filler pages.
Mhm. And they're just feeling. That's why the bishop is just like boom, 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 boom. I'll give you who the character is. I'll tell you who they are. I'm not gonna go out on this extra. You know, I'll give you a backstory. I'll tell you how I got there. But other than that, I'm not gonna bore you. I'm not trying to bore you. I'm not gonna bore
Yeah.
you.
Is there a method or structure you use to layer the suspense in your books and the messiest fuckness?
Well, when we write together, yeah, we layer it. But when it's me, I'll be like, you know what? I haven't done anything with this character over here. I'm
Mm.
gonna put this. I'm gonna make this character do this, and I'm gonna make him be messing with her. And even I don't know if you put two and two together. In Prison Chronicles, there was the Cash App preacher.
Yeah.
He was in part two. He was in
The the
uh-huh,
the
uh-huh.
that
That was
guy?
him. Yeah. The
That
yeah,
oh shit.
yeah.
Now see what I just say. Y'all two motherfuckers really be doing some messy ass shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
See? See?
People didn't
Wow.
catch that. Yeah, the Cash App preacher. He's in my book. So it's the same character. His wife, that the bishop was. She's in that. She's in Prison Chronicles. A
I
lot.
ain't never I every goddamn bishop that now that you if you or him mention a bishop, I just know that shit gonna be messy. I think all church bishops need to stay away from y'all. Wow.
I'm not.
Dude,
I'm not trying to alienate anybody from church or whatever. I love church. I grew up in church. I just want people to go make sure they got their eyes open when they're in church
church
because you
is a
can't.
comedy show.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna hold you. I grew up in church. That shit is comic relief.
yeah,
I swear to God.
yeah.
Trying
Yeah.
to outdo each other with the Holy Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody fucking everybody. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
you just telling the truth. It's very shocking because this pastor got the dick of fucking salmon or someone or what's his name Samson and shit. He
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah.
Like he sings. They dropping draws.
Yep, yep,
He fucking says a word about a word. Niggas' pants are coming down.
yep.
I'm like, God damn.
But you
What
have those people who are just have people drawn to them.
the?
You know, you'll see a preacher or a singer or a celebrity walk by and people just like get starstruck. You know,
Mm.
I actually worked at a church where this lady was stalking the pastor. You know, and she would come up there barefoot. I mean, acting crazy, and she was stalking his pastor. I mean, yeah. I don't know if something happened occurred between him and her, but she was stalking that pastor. Yeah,
Wow. I mean, wow. There are many things in life I thought I'd never hear about, but wow.
yeah,
Stalking a pastor?
yeah, yeah.
Whew, I
And
guess.
he was married, so yeah.
I
So
guess she said she wanted her tides. What the
yeah.
fuck? Um, do your plot twists evolve organically, or are they always planned in advance?
When me and him write, it's playing. When it's me, I may, like I said, I may just be sitting down and it just hits me. I could sit down and not even know what I'm about to write, and I'm like, I know I got to write something. Let me sit down, let me knock this out, and I'll start writing, and it just hit me, and boom, there it is. You know,
Boy, you miss your calling. You should be writing scripts for fucking TV shows. Jesus Christ.
somebody said
Uh,
they want the bishop to be a stage play.
look, 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 look. I don't know if people are ready to see that live and living. What? Could you imagine the reviews?
Yeah, yeah.
You probably traumatized. I could see somebody's church out there boycotting you right
Oh
now.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
God damn. So romantic suspense is often misunderstood. As a writer, how do you define this genre? What space does it hold in your heart?
uh, for me, like I said, I don't put myself in a. I can't even tell you what genre to put the bishop in, because
Uh,
to me, it has its own lane almost. It's not urban fiction. It's not romance. Of course not. It needs its own. It needs messy to be its genre.
well, Amazon, Amazon puts you as
Yeah,
Christian fiction.
yeah, yeah. No, no. But
I would love for you to go to a Christian book site. I would even be your assistant at
they
the
will,
table.
they will burn me at the stake if I took that book in there.
The way I would just be there with my phone watching the faces of the people.
They will burn me at the stake like in the 1800s.
Woo, I can't we please do it just one time, just please. Cause I swear I just want to see the clutching of the pearls. I just want to see it.
And you know what? I think a lot of people see the cover and they're like, "Oh, that's a Christian book," and then they read it and they're like, "This ain't no Christian book,"
Woo. I mean, Hallelujah is in there,
Oh yeah,
but not in the way they think it is.
no, there's some laying of hands, but it ain't what you.
So, as a black man writing in a genre, well, in genres, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in messy as fuck genre, um, largely most women write books like this.
Yeah.
What have you discovered about your masculinity, vulnerability, and intimacy? Um, how you do your work and how it's been received by readers.
That's the beauty in it. How it's been received.
Mm.
Because that was one thing I was real skeptical on, because I've had when I first started, I reached out to some publishers, and they didn't know if we were male or female. They were like, "Oh, I like Police King. Oh, I like Running Back. Are you male or female?" And we were like, "We male." And they were like, "Oh, we don't work with male authors." And
I'm not discriminating against the men.
yeah, closed the curtain, and it was like, okay, all right. Uh, but since now that we're out here, I've received nothing but love.
Mm.
Everybody. I haven't run into nobody who's hating, or I'm sure there are people out there, but I haven't run into anybody with no hate or any negative comments. It
Mm.
was funny in the beginning because everybody. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of authors have to get to understand is you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. what you write. I got a person. I think one person didn't finish my book, and I was in my feelings. I was like, oh, she didn't finish my book. Okay, whatever. But I'm like, okay, I can't be everybody cup of tea.
That's
And we can't get so caught up in a negative review or somebody who didn't finish your book or whatever. I have my lane and I'll stay in my lane. I'll write for the people who enjoy what I write. So
well, to that chick, you missed out, goddamn it, because that motherfucking series is just, woo, Jesus, woo.
and I tell people all the time, if I haven't got you by chapter 2 or 3, I'm not your cup of tea anyway. If you know,
I
'cause-
look, I honestly believe now. Now look, it's 16 people on here. Now look, don't take no offense if this does not apply to you, but I honestly believe people that get offended with books like this or any type of urban fiction or romance, suspense, or anything. The problem is they back is not getting blown out. Their pussy is not getting ate. Their dick is not getting sucked. It's literally got something to do with the fact that they dusty and rusty at the bottom of their pants. I
yeah,
don't fucking know.
yeah, and it is what it is. It's for me, it's fun, and the few people who like my book, I'm writing for those people who like it.
Hmm.
And I don't care if it's 100 people, if it's 1,000, if it's 10. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
writing for those few that like me. So
So, how has your perspective ever been challenged or misunderstood because of your identity, in which you're talking about the besides the publishers?
yeah, just being like you were saying, just being a male in
Mm.
this industry is challenging.
Mm.
Uh, not be it's I wouldn't say challenging. I say it's intimidating because it's not a lot of us.
Mm.
And there's not very many male authors that can that has come along and be like, hey man, I like what you're doing, da 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 da. I've ran into maybe one or two, but as far as you know, that's been the biggest weird. I mean, the biggest challenge, but the females have embraced me. They
Mm.
have shown me nothing but love. The readers, the writers, the authors, the podcast, everybody.
Mm.
And for the most part, I haven't had any negative interaction with anybody. So and I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. But
Don't be wishing that on yourself, Ricky Bobby. Don't be wishing that shit on you. So, what do you hope your presence in this space signals to other Black men about love, sex, and storytelling?
don't be afraid. I think a lot of black men are afraid to write sex about love
Mm.
because I think it shows your vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men don't want to be vulnerable,
Mm.
uh, because it shows the softer side of you. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of men. If you're comfortable with yourself and your sexuality, because at first we're like, do I want to write anything about that has a homosexual in it? I was like, I don't want nobody to get me confused, because, but, if I'm comfortable in my own skin, I'm comfortable, you know,
Mm.
it, you know,
Yeah.
you just got to get
It
yourself.
takes, and people don't understand, being a man does not mean what's biologically on you. It's
Mhm.
not, just how you look. It's literally your mentality.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? A man who is comfortable in his sexuality, have no offense with anybody in the queer community or the LGBTQIA community, they
mhm.
will not be upset being around them. They will not be
Yeah,
upset reading the books. They will
yeah,
not be upset of them being talked to by anyone that's a part of that community.
yeah,
So I feel like men who are writers, you can say I'm a man all day, but if your mentality is, oh, I can't be around them, you know what I'm saying? You're not a man. You're a little boy.
yeah. It's a reason why you can't be around. Why are you uncomfortable? You know,
Exactly. Because they want the booty. That's why.
and, it took me back to the early 2000s, and when I read Invisible Life by Edith
Mm-hmm.
Harris, and that took my any homophobic things that I had in me went away because it helped me understand
Mm-hmm.
so much, and that's why I love his writing because
Mm-hmm.
it helped me. It gave me that bridge and understanding that you walk in, you don't have to be uncomfortable around other people in their sexuality. It has nothing to do with my sexuality. You
Exactly. Exactly. But like I said, they probably just want the booty. That's all.
know? They're curious, and
Yeah.
if you're curious, then it is what it is. Be comfortable with who you are.
Exactly. Because those same men say, I love Maya Angelou. I love Nikki Giovanni. I love James Baldwin. Oh, guess what? They all were part of the queer community.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So as a male romance authors, especially black men, are rare but powerful in the space. What can they do to increase visibility, respect, and sales in a crowded genre that is normally saturated by women?
I think where women are more intentional. They
Mhm.
get out and they go to book shows, which I'm trying to get out there. I'm going to Chicago. I'm
Mhm.
going to Vegas. Women do the book boxes and they do presentations way better than us. And we have to step. Me and we got to step our game up. That's plain and simple. Women do so much, and they pay attention to detail.
Mhm.
And we have to take our time and just not put a product out. You can. I'm sure there are millions of books out there that are great books, but
Mhm.
nobody's reading them because you're not taking the time to promote them, to go to book shows,
Mhm.
and that goes for male and female authors. If you're not taking the time to an hour or two to promote your book on TikTok and Facebook and all these other things and going to book shows, your book just gonna sit on your shelf. You know,
True.
if and it could be the best book ever written, but if you don't push it, that's where it's gonna sit on your shelf.
Let me ask you this. So, do you think, no, do you feel male authors should lean into tropes or break them?
Uh, I wouldn't say either or. I say you embrace what you're comfortable with.
Mm.
Um, I don't have because I don't have a trope per se or anything that in particular that I'm drawn to. I like murder mystery and thrillers and things
Mhm.
like that. My books are always gonna have that, but I still love a love triangle. I think all my books will always have a love
You
triangle
think?
or a quartet or but I think you embrace what you're good at, and
Mhm.
as long as you do what you're good at and you're comfortable with it is, and as long as you push it,
Mhm.
you'll be successful. Don't be scared. A lot of us get scared, you
Yeah.
know, and scared to push the limit.
Mm.
Like, oh, I don't want to go over the edge. Where's the edge? A lot of people ain't was like, you really want to put that book out there, and I did it.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do readers need to see more of from black men writing love stories or black men writing psychologicals, thrillers, paranormals? What do you think, in your opinion, do readers need to see more of from black men?
They need to see our faces. They just need to see us.
Oh,
They
ain't
need to
that
see.
some shit?
I learned it from y'all. Y'all told me. They need to see us. We need to be visible. For the most part, the few that are out there are invisible. You know, uh, they don't do much. They don't interact with the readers. They don't interact with podcasters, and and you can, it's a different age. It's a
Mm,
different time. So those old methods of just writing a book and hoping that it does something, it's not gonna work anymore. You have to promote your own stuff. You know,
yeah. It's unfortunate. Some people are stuck in their ways, and then there are some they're trying to get out there, but they're doing by themselves. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that you Eddie, uh King Benjamin, y'all kind of either do your own marketing in regards to dropping in a live.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all drop in the live, y'all say I'm an author, y'all talk about your books, or y'all make videos where it's us seeing the
Yeah.
books. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, y'all male authors gonna make me nuck if you buck sometimes because I be wanting y'all to come out because we don't get to see y'all all
Yeah.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do see y'all, it's when y'all drop a book and then y'all disappear.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I mean, just being active.
Yeah. I totally agree, and that's why I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Vegas. I'm gonna try to do some stuff in between
Yeah.
that too. Um, and like you saying, you have to be intentional. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of times I'm tired and I want to come home and go to sleep, but I'll get on and I see y'all doing a sprint and I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna mingle for a little while. If I don't do it, but for 10, 15 minutes, that can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Just to interact with readers and people and like people who post a book review. Every single person who's posted a book review is on my page.
Mm.
If I've seen it, they on my page.
Yeah.
They showing
That's
me
what's
love,
up.
so I show them love. You know.
Okay, let's talk about the secrets of a billionaire bishop. Jesus Christ. This is such a fucking layered, sexually charged. I mean, when I say sexually charged, don't take that word lightly because they fucking serious that escalates every fucking book.
Yeah.
How do you keep topping yourself creatively while still anchoring the story in something real?
I like I said, I questioned it. I didn't know if the second one would be as good. So I knew I had the beginning when I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't read. But after chapter one, what happened in chapter one in the second book, I was like, is everything after this going to be good enough? So. uh
The way you kicked off that book too.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I had to, like I always say, I had to bust you in the mouth. I have to, every chapter I try to hit you in the mouth with something. And you be like, oh, you know, this fool crazy. You know?
You are. You are. I just want you to I'm glad you said it. You are. Like what the fuck? Is there a core emotional or spiritual conflict at the heart of the bishop that drives the chaos?
uh, I would say, yeah, with the bishop, though, his childhood trauma is what triggered him to be the way he is. And then I even took it further with Myron's mother in part two, and how she took advantage of him, and you know,
I didn't see that one coming.
no, like I said, I didn't know I was gonna write it until I sat down and wrote it that night, and it was just like, okay, this is and I made it click because people was like, well, why didn't Myron ever tell him that he had plenty of opportunity? So I had to come up with a reason why Myron didn't ever tell him, you know.
Listen,
Even at the wedding, when they got married and he seen it with his mama and his new stepdad, you
I
know.
this man done fucked everybody. He done fucked everybody. He done fuck y'all. The bishop has fucked everybody. Damn near. God, that I if in part three the way he get out of the situation is, I swear to God, I am because what this man has fucked everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Jesus, what inspired this series, particularly the concept of a powerful, wealthy, religious figure living a double life, shit, a triple life. Fuck that. Just I don't what he was a whore.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna name no pastors' names, but there's several pastors and bishops that some are still alive, some are not. That we can mention that that some live the alternative lifestyle, and some been called power bottom bishops, and you know what I mean. Uh, it is what it is, and I took it there, and it's there's ones that making money, and there's not just black, but there's some white ones, and Hispanic ones, and and
It's the fact that you said swallowed in the goddamn book.
uh, I think
I
I I think a lot of people that part in the baby oil. Yeah.
it was. Let me tell you something, Mike. I you goddamn the baby oil, the swallowed,
Yeah.
and the crime scene
Uh
really took me the fuck out. Okay,
huh.
I was what
Yeah.
Jesus what 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 was it? Was it a cultural critique, personal curiosity, or something else that besides what you just said that birthed the bishop? Or what did he come in your head and just say, hello?
Uh, it was a combination of things. Like I said,
Mm.
I did a bishop gumbo. I took this pass over here, this pass over here, this pass over here, and I just got the worst of all of them, stirred it up, and I put my own little twist on it. And I mean, you got preachers out here that got first men, not first ladies, but first men. It's like really, but they out there. And like I said, the video I sent that I posted today, I was like, if that ain't Bishop Fuller in the flesh right there, I don't know who is. You know, it blew my mind. Somebody sent it to me and tagged me, and I was like, oh my god, there he
So
is.
the supporting cast,
Mhm.
Jesus, the supporting cast in the Bishop series is just as fucked up as him.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you have plans to expand the worlds of these crazy motherfuckers that's following behind this golden dick
Yeah,
um
yeah.
in their own novels or their own novellas?
You might get Bryson.
Oh Jesus.
You might get Bryson. I've been thinking about the original First Lady Nikki. You
Oh
know,
my God.
uh,
Yo, first of all, Nikki, that woman is the Lulu.
yeah, yeah.
The Lulu to the fucking Lulu.
And the thing, I can't even tell you, do she love the bishop or do she love the status of being his wife?
You you can't
I
tell
can't
me.
tell
I
you.
can't.
I can't tell myself.
And the son.
Yeah. Everybody thought he was innocent in the first book. Everybody, like, oh, Bryson's just a bystander. He's that poor boy, da 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 da. And then you get to the book, and then that scene where him and Amber going at it, and everybody thought it was the bishop. Everybody just knew him, and it was the bishop, and then they were like, hold on, who? You know?
Yeah, I said that. And then when they said, you ain't nothing like the bishop in that sense
hmm
of, yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh, little tink tink. Oh.
yeah. He thought he was in the big boy league, but he wasn't.
What character are you dying to explore more deeply in their own book? Which one of them crazy motherfuckers you just like, I just know this shit gonna be off the chain.
If I had to pick a character, it'd probably be somebody that nobody's paying attention to, and that'd be somebody like Detective Cash's husband.
Who ain't paying attention to him? Who ain't? Because that man, he got every right.
Mhm.
Every fucking right.
Yeah,
Cause ain't no way. Ain't no way.
they
Ain't
done
no
got
way.
they done got back together, and as soon as they get back together, Yeah, and she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was getting herself into.
But my thing, okay, this is my thing with that. I literally thought this was like maybe she's just undercover
You
until
know?
all started playing out. I said, "This bitch for real, for real."
Until she got under the covers.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, she might be undercover. That's why she doing this." But then everything happened. I was like, "I know you fucking lying."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Another character is probably Nicole. I'm thinking about giving Nicole her own book.
Why?
Because Nicole is a mess. Nicole is a
Like why? Because the way
yeah,
boy, it was a lot of going on in that book.
yeah.
Let me see. Your readers play a big part in your momentum, right? They
Mhm.
hype your books, share your scenes, and live for your twists. How have you built that trust and engagement with them?
Uh, I, I I didn't know I had it built. I was like I said, I was scared. I was like with the second, especially with the second book. I was like, I didn't want to disappoint nobody. I was like, I hope I don't let nobody down. I hope it was just as good as the first. So uh, I was like I said, I was really nervous about the second book. I think I was more nervous about the second book than I was the first one.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. The first one was good, but the second one, that
Cause
shit top everything.
I didn't know what to expect when the first book came out.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was totally unexpected. And so when it started picking up steam and people was like, I was waking up every day and seeing somebody saying leaving a post about my book or saying something about my book, and seeing all the reviews, and I'm like, wow, okay, maybe I'm onto something. And so I was like, okay, cool. And
Do you
then
go ahead? Go ahead.
when it was time to write the second one, it was like, uh, I gotta put some gas back in the car because we got to get the thing started again.
Do you involve the readers in any part of writing or maybe the decision making process? And do you, if they say it's messy, do you push for messy to the umpteenth power?
Absolutely,
Oh my
absolutely,
god!
absolutely. And a lot of people were a lot of reviews that I seen. People like the bishop. Somebody should have killed the bishop. They wanted me to kill the bishop after the first book. They were like, kill the bishop. He got to pay for it. So I gave you a little bit of pay for, a little something. So I gave him an enemy, and nobody seen Noah coming. You know
Yeah,
that kind of review.
okay, yeah, but this man Dick done got him out of every goddamn thing.
Is it gonna be able to get him out of this one?
I don't know, because if you can make a motherfucker that's straight and he working on his job, be like,
Yeah, yeah,
I wonder. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
What kind of feedback from readers has changed your direction or surprised you the most?
Just I didn't see how messy it was when I
What
wrote
you
it.
didn't see how
I,
messy it
I
was?
didn't. I did not. When people started saying it was, this is the messiest book I ever read. This is mess. I didn't. I didn't see that first. I had no clue.
You read your book? Did you? Cause, huh? Yo, come on. All right. Now, I'm going to go back to this. You hit number one in Christian fiction category, a genre that's not typically associated with explicit content.
Yeah.
How do you approach genre categories like in categories to make sure your books are discovered properly and by the right readers? Because I'm pretty sure Some lady from the damn pulpit passed out after they read that first chapter.
Yeah. I don't know how that was put in there or why it was. I like I said, I think people misjudged it by just looked at the cover and was like, "Oh, that's a church book." You know, I
Mm.
think a lot of people passed on it because they was like, "Oh, that's just a church book." You know, until they start seeing reviews and then, reading the reviews and seeing the reviews, and they were like, "Oh, this ain't no church book." You know,
I mean, the good pastor was, blessing everybody.
yeah, he was blessing them, but yeah,
That's saying.
yeah.
So, has mis has mislabeling ever affected sales, reviews, or visibility?
If it has, I haven't seen it, or I don't think so. Um, I think like I said, I think maybe the cover may mislead people not to pick it up. You know,
Mm.
like, that's church books. I don't. I've heard people say I don't do church books. You know. I'm like, okay, it's not a church book though. you know,
Okay, maybe it's just the sinner in me, because when I look at that cover, I say, "Self, this is about to be some bullshit."
yeah, yeah.
I don't see. Okay, you know what? Never mind. um, do you think Amazon and other platforms have a labeling issue, especially for Black authors?
Yeah, I think they do. Because they just want to keep us in a box. They want
Mm,
to. The only people they want us to read our books is us.
mm,
Because if they start reading our books, we can go to higher levels. You know,
mm-hmm.
Barnes and Noble's gonna start putting us in their stores, and and they don't want that. So um, and they corner the market by doing what they're doing. You know,
True, true. Do you see yourself returning to collaboration work after the Billionaire Bishops finale of that series, or are you fully committed to solo authorship for right now?
uh, we have Secrets of a Prison Babe getting ready to drop probably in this month. So that's be expecting that, and then I've told y'all about the Cowboy book that's coming probably next month. So those books are going to hit before there's a third Bishop book.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna get those two books and maybe one more before I even get started on the third. I'm gonna have to do something special on that third Bishop book. That's gonna have to be something special.
Something, something special?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What you mean?
I'm gonna have to pull a rabbit out of my hat on y'all for y'all on that one.
Oh, wow. I feel like I feel like he about to fuck us up. That's what he
Oh yeah,
means. He
yeah,
don't mean that it's gonna be just peaches and cream
no,
type shit. This gonna be some. I'm finna
yeah,
fuck their heads up.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, we're gonna do some paranormal this year. We're
What's
gonna
that paranormal?
he's gonna do his own. I'm gonna do my own, and then we're gonna collaborate on one. It's gonna be one book though.
What? Okay. What characters? What mythological, supernatural? What are we talking about?
Um, far as his story goes, I'm not gonna give it away. I haven't came up with my story yet,
Okay.
but
Y'all don't be on your ass. Y'all should never come on this show and tell me nothing about no paranormal because I live and breathe that shit. So,
yeah, it's gonna be the one we're gonna do together. I can't give you this. It's gonna be paranormal, but it's gonna have uh, alien twist to it too.
okay, so now you're right up my alley. So,
So yeah, yeah,
oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
I'm now. You said how long gotta wait?
That one should be out for Halloween.
That's too fucking long. God damn.
But I'm gonna give you at least 3, 4 books before that.
Okay,
At least.
okay. And the cowboy book. What's
You know what? I showed Nicole the cover. I'm gonna send you the cover and let you see it. And
is this
yeah,
messy and nasty? Is it nasty and messy, or it's like a
Uh,
historical fiction type?
it's a BDSM book.
Whoa, pause. Wait a mother. Let's roll that shit back.
Yeah,
This is a cowboy BDSM book,
yeah, yeah,
and we sip our tea.
yeah, yeah. But as usual, it's going to have um, thriller to it. It's a mess. So you're gonna get a wave of everything.
Oh, brother. Okay. Is there an unfinished storyline, like running back, police, king, or world you still want to revisit with Ernest or anybody else you want to write with?
I'm not opposed to writing with anybody. I would
Mm.
love to collaborate with some other authors besides him. Uh, like one of my favorite authors is Jay Jones. Jay, that pen is fire.
Why are you not in her inbox?
I I I don't know. I don't even know she know what. I don't even know she know who I am. You know what I mean? But it's somebody like that because I like her style. I think it's a kind of similar to what I did do, and but yeah, she that pen's fire. You know, um, and if anybody wanted to reach out to me, hey, I would love to
Be
do
the way I'm reaching out to Jay Jones right now to tell her that you want to collab.
I would love to write with other authors. It's I'm not opposed to writing with anybody. But no, we're gonna continue doing our own thing separately and writing together. So
Okay. Cole said he want to collab.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, it don't.
Oh, Jesus. You got the messy and the YN. Jesus Christ. Messy ass YNs. That's what the fuck this about to be. God damn. I can see it now. Jesus.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to retire so I can do this full time because
And
it's
that
something.
was the question I was gonna ask. Like, you are in your career, even though you don't even give a damn. You don't even give a fuck. And what you write and how, some jobs will you have to use pen names
Yeah,
because your job will fire the fuck out your ass because they'll say, this isn't professional, this look bad on our job, boom woo. You already answered it, but how do you feel about that?
I use a pen name, of course, but as long as I'm not representing them, it's while I'm doing it, I'm not doing it on their time. There's nothing they can do about it. I got about another year before I can retire. If the money gets right doing this, I'll retire within a year. Otherwise, I'm gonna ride it probably another 5 years. But uh, I want to do this full time because I have so many ideas, so
Mm-hmm.
much, so much that I want to write that I just don't have time for. You know,
Yeah.
'cause
I,
I can literally write every day. If I had the time, I could write something every day. I could
I
get between me and him, we could probably drop 2 books a month if we weren't working.
mm, mm. What do you ultimately want readers to walk away with after reading your books beyond the drama and fucking? What's the soul of your storytelling?
The soul of my storytelling, and I think this should be for all authors. I don't want to. People have enough stress and bad stuff going on during the day. I want you to escape. I want my book to you to escape and you forget all about whatever had your tire was flat this morning. You got rode up at work. Whatever. I want you to be able to forget whatever 2 3 hours you read my book. Put a smile on your face, made you laugh, and be an escape for somebody.
Mm.
Just take you
So
away for a couple hours.
Is there a particular message you're trying to send to Black readers, men or people in complicated relationships? Because if your ass in this type of relationship, you need more than advice. You need a therapist,
Uh,
maybe even a lawyer.
there's not a message as far as like with Police King and Running Back. There was a message with Thaddeus
Mm.
King. Um, he was a great detective, but his flaws were with all. And a lot of people don't understand with law enforcement. Your only outlet without getting fired is sex and alcohol.
Yeah, because Thaddeus was a whore too.
Yeah, yeah. So that those are your only outlets. So and that's why a lot of the running joke in law enforcement is if you ain't married until you're on your second marriage.
That's horrible.
But
That's
that's the
horrible.
real joke, because you know you if there's long nights where you're working and you're away from home, and if that person's not in the same field with you, they're not gonna understand that you just seen a car accident with a baby getting killed in it or whatever, and you might not want to talk when you go home. You know,
That's
so
understandable. I mean, it's the same thing with the military. It's hard to date civilians when you're in the military, depending on your job in the military or if you're liable to get deployed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand, what the civilian partners go through.
yeah, yeah,
So, you
yeah.
know,
That's law enforcement, military, first responders. It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard to
Shit,
have
I'm
a
on my
relationship.
third marriage, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, what will we see you at any events this year or next year? Book expos, panels, signings, where fans and new readers can meet you in person.
Um, I will be Chicago in
That's
October,
October 18th.
October 18th, the day after my birthday. So we're gonna do it up. I'll be in Vegas, but I plan on looking for something local in Texas between now and October. I'm sure there got to be something locally or somewhere close.
Let me get back to you on that one because I
Okay.
think there's two of them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Um, what else did I say? Do you have a website, online store, or specific social media accounts where readers can follow your work and purchase your books directly?
No, I don't. We are working on that right now. We're
Nicole
working.
gonna get your ass.
I know it. I know it. But we're working on that right now. Uh, yeah, we talked about that a couple days ago about getting the website going.
Okay. What advice would you give to a new author, especially Black male writers, who want to enter romance or suspense but feel unsure of how they'll be received or supported?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Like when I when I first started with running back and police came, I reached out to you because I thought you were the shit because you ain't got no filter. You just real. You just real. I mean, and that's why I fell in love with you because you one of the few people who kept it real, and I love the way you did your book reviews. And so I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, you know what? If I could have anybody do my book review, I want her to do my book review. And so, to my surprise, you said yeah. So you have to take a risk. You have
Yeah.
to go out there and you have to ask, hey, will you review my book? Ask people to read your book. Get some feedback from actual people. You know, let them see. Hey, it ain't there yet. It might not be there yet. You know, uh, they can give you some input. Give some other authors feedback. You know,
Mm,
that may help. And just don't be afraid. Don't be
yeah.
afraid.
I rarely turn down a fucking book, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember when you had told me like that whole people were trying to charge you for
Mhm.
the book review shit, it kind of floored me. I'm like, people do that? But I rarely turn down a review. You have to either be a bitch I can't stand, B, a bitch I can't stand, or you write poetry or nonfiction. Not that I don't like it, I just don't do reviews about them or self help. I be trying to get people to understand that, but they still ask me. I don't know why.
The
What
crazy
you
part
say?
is, I didn't know any better. So people like, hey, send me your book. I'll do a book review. And I was sending my book to people.
Mm,
And didn't get no book reviews.
mm.
Shipping my book. I shipped my book to Europe to somebody.
Mikah,
I didn't know any better. You know. Uh,
yo.
but she did. She actually told me she liked the book, but she didn't do a review for me.
Mm, damn. Look, I'm gonna say, damn. Maybe this is another round table I need to add for May. I I feel like that. Not every reviewer is the same. We all have our own different personalities and how we do reviews. But I do. How can I put this without offending somebody? I do believe that it if a traditionally published, and when I say traditionally,
Mm-hmm.
I mean one of the big five, put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they ask you to do a reading review, charge they bitch asses until you can't charge them no more. Charge them your fucking worth.
Yeah.
If a indie author asks you to do a review and you are interested in that book,
Mm-hmm.
you do understand that they paying for things themselves. They are writing this stuff, editing this stuff. They paying for the cover. They're doing all this shit themselves.
Yeah.
So the payment is the arc,
Yeah.
which they don't have to give you, but they're giving you a free book. That is payment.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
exposure goes both ways,
Yeah.
because if that book review blows up, guess what they're going to do? Come back to your page, which will add to your numbers, and it will help the indie author get more eyes on that book.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is how it should go.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why anybody who, if I see somebody post anything about either one of my books, you going on my page.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, 100%. Whether you showing me love, and I'm gonna give you the same love back.
And that's how it should be. Now, hold up. Now, I know some of y'all on here like, bitch, I gave you a book. Hold up. I'm working on it. Shit. A bitch be busy. Just saying. But no, I don't. It's just me. And I know it's a lot of people who believe what I do,
Mhm.
but I just do not think you should charge indie authors.
No.
I do not think you should charge indie authors for book reviews unless they are offering to do so, because it's like a paid promotion type thing. Now,
Mhm.
promotion is different from review.
Yeah.
People need to understand there's a difference. A promotion means that you're doing multiple videos over
Absolutely.
time and getting paid for it.
Yeah.
If you are doing book review, that's just a book review.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so much more I want to say, but last time when I talked to Ernest, I got kicked offline. So I'm gonna just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But I also want to say I appreciate your work, because I like you being unapologetically yourself the way you write.
Yeah.
Don't stop that. I mean, yes, you are messy.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
messy.
always be.
But I love your writing though. So, what can we expect from you this year? Are there any projects, new series, short stories, or even genre switches that we should be watching out for?
Like I said, Secrets of a Prison Babe is the first book that'll be coming out by me and him, and that should be probably this month, hopefully by the end of the month. Um, that is going to be a 3-part book about three different ladies, and how they ended up in jail, in prison.
Mm.
One is a supervisor in the jail, one's a guard in the jail, and then one's a prisoner. The prisoner is tied to Police King. You'll recognize one of the prisoners from Police King. Um, then we'll drop the then we're gonna drop the cowboy book. Um, that should be next month. Um, we should have the we're doing a domestic violence book. That should be the book following. Well, we're gonna put out the next part two of Prison Babes after the cowboy book.
Okay.
Then the domestic violence book. Then we're going to do a paranormal book, and then there's going to be the last part of Prison Babe. Then for Christmas, we're going to do another part two to the Cowboy book.
Wait a
So
minute. Wait a fucking minute. Wait the fuck. You just said you gonna do a Christmas BDSM cowboy.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You and your partners
Yeah,
is the messiest.
yeah.
Y'all just
That's just between me and him. I'm still try to get you the third edition of the Bishop out as well. So you're gonna have at least 6 or 7 books before the year is over with.
my God, my
So
God.
yeah,
I feel like I already feel books getting slammed against the wall because I'm going to be saying I know the fuck they did not write that shit.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel it. I feel it in
Yeah.
my spirit. Shana. Okay. So, are you pushing any more boundaries or experimenting with something unexpected that you feel that we are literally about to cuss y'all the fuck out?
Uh, I think the domestic violence book is going to have because a lot of people are going to assume it's going to be something and it's not. Uh,
Mm.
so be prepared for that one. The paranormal book, like I said, it's going to be paranormal, but it's going to have an alien twist to it. We don't do nothing ordinary.
Really?
So I think that's part of the reason why it's hard to put us in one genre
Mm.
because it crosses over so many genres. So uh, and then Prison Babe is kind of it's drama. There's betrayal. There's murder. There's mystery. Uh, there's a lot. There's a lot going on in Prison Babe. So
What in the fuck?
yeah,
Bruh. And you said it's gonna be 3 books?
yeah, it's gonna be 3 books.
Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. If you could talk to as anybody that you would want to, besides Jade, um, you want to particularly write in that genre with. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean genre, not trope, nothing else. In that particular genre.
Mm-hmm.
Who would it be and why? And what would be the title of that story?
I would love to. I would love to do something with Jacquel.
Oh shit.
Uh, I mean, I would love to do something with like her. The
You
I
talking about
think
that?
if we did something like with like a motorcycle club and with my messiness and I think it would be next level. Uh, yeah, with some murder mystery in it, and you
Now,
know,
Cassandra, it not only would it break the internet, this people would be gunning for his ass. Cause he is messy.
but yeah, I think if I could just put my little messy in with her street, I think it would be combustible.
Well, I tell you what, here's an idea. And I know I said it to Navi, but I am really into bikes.
Uh,
That's me. That's the bikes and shit. why don't you, Cold, Ernest, and Cartier write a bike club book?
That would be
I,
fire. I can't lie. That would be fire. That would
Now
be fire.
we've been getting bike club books from the females. We have not got bike club books from the males' perspective. And I would love to see a collaboration of all of y'all. Each one of y'all take a book and write a novel or novelette or whatever of a bike club that y'all come up with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and put y'all messy, hood, erotica,
Mm-hmm. But
psychological girl
I would
shit.
want, I would want the bike club to be all women.
I would love that. I would love that.
I would love for it to be all women because nobody's done that. You know.
Well, actually, Virgo Girl did Peak Smoke, but she only
Okay.
came out with 2 books.
Okay.
If mine are all felons code, please. This is why I call you a YN. This 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 is sir. So I'm gonna need you to get with boss lady Tina J,
Mm-hmm.
and throw this out there because I would like to see. I would love to see
Mm-hmm.
erotica version because Cartier writes erotica.
Yeah.
I would love to see Cole because that's the hood nigga. He gonna give you fucking, sucking, and bucking. You know what I'm saying? I would like Ernest because he is just psychologically fucking up people head.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like you because you messy as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And y'all write a motorcycle club combination. Y'all name it. It could be one can write all female, one can write all male, one can write another female, whoever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, one can write aliens. I don't give a fuck. Just,
Yeah, I like that idea though. That would be fire. That would be fire.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that means that y'all got to reach out to these people because I'm just saying we ain't never had a male right female bike club from y'all perspective and go hard with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would love to see a female bike club because shit, I am in charge with one. So I would love to see that shit.
Hey, I've you got the wheels turning, and that's all Nicole did last time with the cowboy book. She mentioned it, and my wheels were turning, and the cowboy book is done.
I'm just saying, y'all come together, see what if you can't get Cartier, you can always get who is it? King Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get King Benjamin, you can get Lamar's. If you can't get Lamar's, you can even have Eddie, who is a fantasy writer. He can make a fantasy motorcycle club.
Yep, that's true.
Just saying. Or Jamar. Somebody. One of you niggas. So it's just something to think about. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So is there anything you want them to know before we get into the housekeeping part of this right here?
No, just like I said, just be looking for what's getting ready to drop. The Secrets of a Prison Brave should be dropping within the next couple weeks. Then you're gonna have Addicted to a Texas Cowboy. That's gonna be that's the title of the cowboy book.
Addicted to a Texas Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Jesus.
And after we get off live, I'm gonna send you the cover, and I want to see your face when you see that cover.
Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let's get into this fucking housekeeping and my fucking